partiamo?
Vai. Poppa libero.
We have cast off. Which means I will not set foot on land again until our arrival, expected in 28 days. I have escaped from that vibrant and frenetic earthly life, a life of heavy responsibilities that sink your soul into dark and cold depths. Now, my life and that of the crew belong to this boat, the sweet lady of the waves, Lady Eleonora. The weeks leading up to the departure were intense. Every Tuesday evening we had an online meeting to discuss all the eventualities that could arise during the journey. From rudder breakers to men overboard, and even death from a boom strike to the head or the potential sinking and abandonment of the boat. "Aren't you afraid?" was perhaps the question I was asked most often. Yes, I am afraid, but there is no courage without fear. I truly understood what I was doing only when, before getting on the train, I said goodbye to my father and looked him in the eyes, which were teary. I knew deep inside that the possibility of not being able to return existed. It often came up during the meetings, but all the preparation before departure was aimed at reducing this possibility as much as possible. And it's too late to turn back. Around us, water, sun as far as the eye can see. Gran Canaria is now a memory vanished behind the horizon. The wind blows gently from the stern, so we decide to harness its energy by hoisting the spinnaker. This grey day has just taken on a touch of color. David has known me since I was born, but I can say I truly got to know him only when I was already a boy. The first time he took me sailing with him in Pesaro, I knew nothing about sailing. It was the birth of a passion. Lady Eleonora is a boat, an old boat, a Gran Soleil 34 from 1981. It has accompanied us on various adventures in the Mediterranean waters and allowed me to gain enough experience to say, I know how to sail. In May, David called me. He was gathering the crew to make the Atlantic crossing. He told me to think about it, but I already had the answer clear. As poetic as it may sound, the taste of salt on the skin stings over time. The little chair with a sea view at the stern is perfect for carrying out complete personal hygiene. Then, sitting there naked, admiring the big blue, it's a way of purifying the spirit as well. I can now understand Ulysses' men when they said they were enchanted by the sirens. Sailing with the dolphins accompanying the boat is hypnotic. I felt a strange force attracting me to them, The urge to touch them, caress them, and swim with them was irresistible, but quickly vanished at the sight of the orcas. With them, fear, tension, but at the same time curiosity and fascination struck us, making us realize that we are not really alone, that we are not truly the masters. I was appointed cook, and with this role came the responsibility of preparing a menu that would adapt to everyone's needs, and especially last a month in the middle of the ocean, with limited use of the refrigerator and no way to resupply. The manuals advised not to rely on fishing to feed the crew, and we soon understood why. Nothing beat the hook. Incredibly, however, something flew into the pan. It's hot, particularly today. The night was heavy. Terra was a bit angry because I fell asleep during my shift. The others lowered the speed without me. I felt very useless. I feel terrible. I have a headache that feels like a jackhammer in my temples. Maneuvering was difficult, and I almost died. The boom passed just a few centimeters from my head. I want to go to sleep. I miss her. I miss her terribly. I feel much better. David is sleeping next to me. The stairs illuminate this moonless night, and for a moment, everything seems to stop. The wind is silent. The sea is oil. For 3 days we have been joyfully riding the trade winds. The GPS shows more than 150 miles every 24 hours. Lady Eleonora may be old, but she hasn't lost her touch. Even before sunset, large black clouds began to be seen on the horizon. The combination of these dark cumuli, the rising wind, and the relentless large waves do not put the crew in a good mood. Bad. Very bad. Disaster. Tragedy. Francesco started calling me, "Leo, come out! Leo, come out! Get the jib in! Get the jib in!" I took the winch handle and started turning to lower the sail, but something was wrong. I looked up and saw the spinnaker pole bent in half. Big damage. David and Francesco have been arguing for a while. There's a lot of tension. There's little time left until the end. I'm sorry that these frictions are arising. I hope it resolves for the best. The rain continues to bombard us, but the wind blows strong and keeps pushing us forward despite the damage. The spinnaker pole seems to be holding, and Francesco and David have repaired the small crack that had formed between them. We are all in the same boat.
Terra!
After 22 days at sea and 3,000 miles traveled, seeing the horizon disturbed by those green hills so bright in the sunlight was a blow to the heart. The realization of the accomplished feat, the bursting of a 10-meter-long bubble pushed by the wind to the new world. When I got ashore, I couldn't stand. I looked in the mirror and saw someone else. I was no longer running away. I felt I had arrived. The fever and excitement of the journey had vanished, leaving an immense empty space. And it was a pleasant feeling. Before, that emptiness was occupied by the worries of terrestrial life. So big and cumbersome, noisy. Life on a boat is a life of deprivation. Everything is limited. Water, food, space. The only thing that abounds is the time you spend with yourself and others. For 3 weeks, I was wrapped like a child in a blanket of optimism and positivity. The amount of things we think we need to be happy is incredible, beyond any possible reason, when in reality, a little company, a little love is enough. I return home light, free. Now there is silence. Everything is still. The boat is moored. No more waves on the hull. No more wind in the ears. It's over.